The king is gone from Bamborough Castle, long may the princess mourn, long may she stand on the castle wall, looking out for his return. She knotted the keys upon a string, and with her she has them taken. She cast them over her left shoulder, and to the gate she's gone. And she tripped in, and she tripped out, and she tripped into the yard, but it was more for the king's sake than for the queen's regard. Now it happened on one day the king, he brought the queen with him home, and all the lords in our country to welcome them did come. Oh, welcome, father, the lady cried, unto our halls and bowers, and so are you, my stepmother, for all that's here is yours. A knight said, wondering while she spoke, this princess of the north surpasses all of female kind in beauty and in worth. The envious queen replied at last, you might have accepted me. In a few hours I will bring her down to a low degree. I shall liken her to a lowly worm that warps about the stone, and not till Childy Wynd gets back shall she again be won. The princess stood in a bowered door, she was laughing, who could her blame? But ere the next day's sun went down, a long worm she became. And for 7 miles east and 7 miles west and 7 miles north and south, no blade of grass nor corn would grow, so venomous was her mouth. And word went east and word went west and word went o'er the sea, that a lowly worm at Spindleston would ruin the north country. And word went east and word went west and over the seas did go, the Child of Wynd got wit of it, which filled his heart with woe. He called straight his merry men all, who 30 were and 3, said, I wish I was at Spindleston this desperate worm to see. We have no time now here to waste, hence quickly let us sail. My only sister Margaret something I fear doth ail. So they built a ship without delay, with masts of the rowan tree, and fluttering sails of silk so fine, and set her on the sea. They went on board, and then with speed the wind blew them o'er the deep, till at length they spied a huge square tower on a rock high and steep. And the seas were smooth and the waters clear as they approached nigh. King Ida's castle well they knew, and the banks of Bamburghshire. Now the queen looked out of a bower window to see what she could see. There she beheld this gallant ship come sailing on the sea. And when she saw those silken sails full glancing in the sun, to sink the ship she sent away her witch wives every one. But their spells were vain, and the hags returned to the queen in sorrowful mood, crying that witches have no power where there is rowan tree wood. So for her last effort she sent a boat which in the haven lay, with armed men to go on board, but they were driven away. And the worm leapt up and the worm leapt down, and she plaited about a stone, and as the ship came to the shore she banged it off again. So the child then sailed out of her reach, the ship to Budle sands, and jumping into the shallow sea securely got to land. And now he drew his berry brown sword, and he placed it at her head, and swore if she did harm to him that he would strike her dead. Oh, quit thy sword and bend thy bow, and give me kisses 3, for though I am a venomous worm, no hurt I'll do to thee. Oh, quit thy sword and bend thy bow, and give me kisses 3, for if I'm not one ere the sun goes down, one I shall never be. So he quitted his sword and he bent his bow, and he gave her kisses 3, and into a hole she crept a worm, but out stepped a lady. No clothing had this lady fine to keep her from the cold, so he's taken his mantle from him about, and round her did it fold. He has taken his mantle from him about, and it he wrapped her in, and they're away to King Ida's castle as fast as they can win. Now his absence and her serpent shape the king had long deplored, so he now rejoiced to see them both again to him restored. But the queen they wanted, whom they found all pale and sore afraid, because she knew her powers must yield to Childy Wynd, who said, "Woe be to thee, thou wicked witch, and ill death may you die, as thou my sister hast likened, so likened shalt thou be. I will turn you into a toad that on the ground doth wend, and one shalt thou never be till this world hath an end." And now on the sands near Ida's tower there crawls a loathsome toad, who venom spits on every maid she meets upon the road.